Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundless success to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup.
This is the raw, naked truth.
Russian drone attacks, Biden officials break ranks, a weak jobs report, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Russian forces struck Ukraine with its largest air attack since the war began on Sunday, launching a mass of drones, decoys, and missiles. Ukraine's Air Force said 810 drones and decoys were used in the strike, including at least 13 missiles. Ukrainian forces intercepted 747 of the drones and 4 of the missiles. At least 2 people were killed and 20 people injured in Kiev. Total casualty reports are not yet available. Images from Kiev show explosives struck a government building and at least 1 residential building. The deadly U.S. strike in the Caribbean last week is being cast by experts as the latest move in a broader campaign to dismantle Iran and Hezbollah's growing narco empire in Venezuela. U.S. officials say Tren de Aragua works closely with the Cartel of the Suns, a network of Venezuelan military elites long accused of moving cocaine in collaboration with Hezbollah. State Department spokesperson Anna Kelly told Fox News Digital, President Trump has taken numerous actions to curtail Iran's terrorist proxies like Hezbollah, such as sanctioning senior officials and financial facilitators. The president has proven that he will hold any terrorist group accountable that threatens the national security of our country by smuggling narcotics intended to kill Americans. Brian Townsend, a retired DEA special agent, told Fox News Digital, this was a decisive blow against narco-terrorists, and said Hezbollah's role is rarely visible but essential. They don't get their hands dirty. Instead, they launder and provide networks to help cartels send money through the Middle East. Simply, they take a cut from the drug trade, which then funds their operations in the Middle East. Hundreds were arrested in an immigration raid at a Hyundai battery plant. Most of the 475 workers who were arrested at the Georgia factory, a joint venture between the automaker and battery company LG Energy Solution, were South Korean nationals. A U.S. official said those arrested were not legally able to work in the U.S. and called it the largest single site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations. South Korea has raised concerns, and the arrests are likely to increase tensions between the U.S. and South Korea following intense tariff negotiations that ended with a 15% import tax on South Korean goods and a pledge by the country to invest $350 billion in the U.S. The South Korean government has reached a deal with the U.S. to secure the release of the migrant workers. President Lee Jae-myung's office says the country will send a charter plane to bring the workers back to South Korea in the coming days. Top Biden officials questioned and criticized the way the former president's team handled pardons and made use of an auto pen in the waning days of his White House term, a report said, citing internal emails. A person familiar with the clemency process told Axios that after President Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter on December 1st, 2024, there was a mad dash to find groups of people that he could then pardon, and then they largely didn't run it by the Justice Department to vet them. The news agency reported Saturday that several senior Justice Department officials raised concerns with the White House's counsel's office regarding the process to pardon individuals. 3 days before Biden left office, the president announced he was commuting the sentences of nearly 2,500 people convicted of nonviolent drug offenses who are serving disproportionately long sentences compared to the sentences they would receive today under current law, policy, and practice. According to a new report released by the Trump administration, the Biden administration weaponized the full weight of the federal government against Christians. The report lays out numerous instances of past anti-Christian bias and recommendations to protect faith in America. The report is published by the Task Force to Eradicate Anti-Christian Bias, created by President Trump and chaired by Attorney General Pam Bondi. The task force had a clear mandate to ensure that any unlawful and improper conduct, policies, or practices that target Christians are identified, terminated, and rectified. The task force was directed to deliver an internal assessment, which Fox News Digital exclusively obtained on Friday. The report provides an overview of the damage that can be done when religious liberty is not protected and preserved for all Americans. The task force makes this commitment: the federal government will never again be permitted to turn its power against people of faith, the report states. Under President Trump and Attorney General Bondi's leadership, in partnership with all members of this task force, the rule of law will be enforced with vigor, and every religion will be treated with equality in both policy and action. CBS News says it is changing its policy on how it airs interviews with top government officials following complaints from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who accused the network of selectively editing footage of her recent interview. The Department of Homeland Security published a statement last month after the conversation aired, blasting CBS, saying it removed more than 23% of Secretary Noem's answers, exposing the truth about criminal illegal alien Kilmar Abrego Garcia, President Donald Trump's lawful actions to protect the American people, and Secretary Noem's commitment to fight on behalf of the American people and their tax dollars. The network shot back, saying in a statement to The Hill that the interview was edited for time and met all CBS News standards, noting the entire interview is publicly available on YouTube and the full transcript was posted early Sunday morning at cbsnews.com. The Labor Department on Friday reported that employers added 22,000 jobs in August, a figure that was well below the 75,000 estimate of economists that were polled. The unemployment rate also rose to 4.3% in August, which was in line with expectations and up from the 4.2% reading in July. The August data follows a similarly soft employment report last month. Job gains in the prior 2 months were both revised in the August report, with job creation in June revised down by 27,000 from a gain of 14,000 to a loss of 13,000, and July job creation was revised up by 6,000 from a gain of 73,000 to 79,000. Taken together, employment in June and July was 21,000 jobs lower than previously reported. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.